Hello, fellow YouTubers. This is Warner32. Just started honestly doing this streaming, and I wanted to talk about this ship here. It is the Hornet Wildfire. One of it's not an in-game purchase, and I do not see too many people flying it. And I actually bought this ship quite a while ago, and then melted it because I didn't understand how fittings worked and everything like that. So this is a different kind of review, and it's more of a review for the solo player. I am a solo player completely. Um, but I want to be able to have a fleet that is kind of future proof, and I want to have a dedicated something. You know what I mean? So for this, oh, look at we got a storm coming in here. Look at this is on Tatooine. Correction, I mean Daymar. This is obviously like one of our. So here we go. This is the inside of the ship. Now, obviously, first annoyances are these lights that you can see here and here. Oh my God, here. And worst of all is these two. They're horrible. As you see when you get in, these MFDs are kind of like glitched. Of course, we always have this issue with this MFD, always constantly going to comms, and it has trouble uh, seeing the target. So I always find it best to switch one of these MFDs down here for your targets. And remember, every time you get in, everything resets. So on this one I have the cannon. I don't want it on with the other guns. And obviously when I get in, I always Alt H8 or sorry Alt H to increase my decoys, and I'm on gimbals. So I have to change my fire mode to auto every time you basically get in this thing. Not much to the internals. To me, it looks great. I love this ship, except for these lights and the little glitches. There's the external view. We're getting a little bit of a cloud. This is with the landing gears down, obviously. So those pods can be removed and have one single weapon kind of right in the center there. I just not you suffered a little bit of DPS, not a lot, but I figured I wanted every DPS I want, at the time. So right now I'm keeping them on. I'll wait and see. Uh, I wish personally that the reds popped a little better, but it's I love the ship. I know some people do not care for. See, I got it. To me, it's a brand new ship, right? I don't want that dirt all over it. A lot of people don't like this swept back wing, but this is strictly for atmospheric flight. Because if it was space flight, we wouldn't even need such a thing. You could just do it with the center, like that center mass. You wouldn't need any of that. That's it. But since we go into obviously atmosphere, we need wings. What I would love is the ability to close the wings without the landing gear coming down. Is one of the reasons why I don't have a Harbinger right now. Because I don't like flying it in space with the wings out. I quite honestly, I find this looks a little weird. Now, I don't by any means recommend anybody having to pay or buy ships in game. However, I am a solo player with like real life, like many people, things to do. And one thing I do not want to do is grind. I came from EVE Online, Elite Dangerous, and I am definitely finished with the grinding. So I have an entertainment budget that I have set aside for whatever, and I use all of that budget right now for Star Citizen. To be honest, have a maximum budget of 2,500 US. So there are ships that I will buy, but as a solo player, I have to take into account multiplayer. And I'm not quite sure that I'm going to be able to do soloing in big multiplayer ships. So I want to start to have a few specialized ships. And I don't like to have ships that everybody else has. I love this ship because it takes me right back to Battlestar Galactica. I feel like I'm getting launched out. So definitely a major problem with this ship in itself is that the standard loadout that I'll show here in the next little quick clip, it doesn't have a lot of firepower. So after a wipe, it's pretty much going to sit in my hangar and collect dust until I can afford to get the components to put on the ship. But I don't mind that because I am invested in the game and I have other ships that are my money makers, and I like to make a certain amount of money before I start grinding rep and doing too much dogfighting. An Arrow as well is a very great ship. This is a medium ship, by the way. Arrow is a light ship. I would definitely not want to fight an Arrow in this. I have, of course, and won. I've fought Avenger 1 4 times. Twice was in a Super Hornet, and 2 times in a Bound Defender. I lost every time. But Avenger 1 could probably take most people out in a Prospector, which she pretty much, I think, did a video on. And I want a ship that has one purpose only, and that is this: to close with and destroy the enemy. And this thing can take a beating. Any other ship I have, including my Bound Defender and Arrow, when I used to have an Arrow, when those shields go down, I turn and run. When the shields go down in this, I keep going. I plow right through them. This thing can take a beating better than any ship. The Hornet series in general, I'm not being specific to this one. One thing I am curious about is whether a skin can fit on this. So what we're gonna do now is cut to some dogfighting bounty missions, and I'm gonna run back to Orson and see if I can put a skin on this and see what it looks like, if it's even possible. So we'll be back. So we're gonna fly back to Orson to put on, see if we can put a paint skin on this thing. I'm curious because I've never seen if it was possible. Now I stay out in the Crusader area. This is the general area that I basically call home. I spawn as Orson. I move everything I have to Grimhex or Cruel 1, and I base out of here. And if I go anywhere else, I set a spawn point. Why do I like it out here? Quite honestly, Daymar. I'm not gonna lie. I love the missions out here. I like the trade routes are great. I find the trade routes a little bit less sketchy, although I did get pirated by Mongrel Squad. It was my first pirate, and man was I ever confused what was going on. I paid. I love it. I love that type of piracy. I come from EVE Online, so I have I feel like a very great understanding of the difference between just piracy, griefing, and people just being dicks. But one of the issues I do have is I do see a lot of people calling out for griefing when honestly it's not griefing. But if you're manipulating game mechanics in order to get something accomplished, that's when it becomes griefing. Like I said, I had a Banner Defender. I should be on the external view for this. That is me getting a bunch of screenshots. Oh. Let's see. There we go. Now the trick for Orson, just burn down as absolute fast as you can. I put everything to engines, just boost. You're looking for some red lights, which would be easier to see if I didn't have these big blue lights right in my face. Well, just shoot for the middle. Don't worry about hitting it. You'll see the red lights. And there you go. That's your target. I will do a few speed ups through this. If you notice the camera or video quickly speed up, I'm just trying to, speed people through the wait time. Look. Screenshot taken. Alright. We're gonna see if we can put that skin on. It works. Let's go see what it looks like. Man, I'm oddly excited. Boom, boom. It still says Wildfire. It's not red. It's a total skin, eh? Well, there you have it. You can put skin on the Wildfire. Well, that was it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you stuck around to see that the skins actually fit. This is a more of a solo player's perspective. I know there's a lot of YouTubers out there that are doing all sorts of walkarounds, and I like watching those as well. But as a solo player, sometimes I'm like, it's just not for me. It's not going to work. So, what I love about Star Citizen, especially sites like Urkel and learning and becoming better at it all. But I also am starting to do streaming on Twitch, and I'm going to do my next one. I'm going to do is exactly when people are talking about what is a solo a daily driver. Everyone talks about their daily driver, and it varies so much. And sometimes I smile when I see people's daily drivers. Like, what is wrong with you? I'm going to show you. It'll be the ultimate daily driver, and it's what I'm going to basically probably call it. It's the only ultimate like daily driver that you should ever have. So, well, until then, guys, uh, thank you very much for watching. If you could like and subscribe if you want to, I appreciate it. This is just a fun little hobby for me. Um, take care. Thank you. Goodbye. Oh 07.